Hello and welcome. In this video I'll be showing you how to use the position and heading indicator in the Skunk Works TF-104G. Now to get that instrumentation to work, you need to create a file which you need to load via the Lady Setup program. So I'm going to show you how to make an LN3 file, but first need to show you where to get the LN3 files from. So go into your community folder, and obviously we're going to go to the TF-104G folder, into data, and then you've got a folder here that says PHI files. Now you can see I've already created three. This was the RF Valley to RF Coningsby. This was RF Valley to the Mac Loop, and this was from Vliegbasis Leeuwarden in the Netherlands to RF Lakenheath in Suffolk. Now it comes with a default, and this is what we're going to use as a template, but it also comes with two other ones that are already pre-made, this one being Dechi Mumanu to Solenzara, taking in some targets. I think it must be Sardinia, but yeah, you can try that one out as that's already set up for you, or we can go in and try and make our own one. So what we're going to do is we're going to right click, and we're going to copy, paste. Now we've got default copy. Open that up. Now it's a bit fiddly, so please bear with me. You can have up to 11 stations, I believe, so you can have quite a decent flight plan made up, and you can have anything up to 999 miles between each waypoint. These are dead reckoning waypoints, so it uses its own inertial navigation system to point you in the right direction of where you need to go, instead of using ground-based navigational data. So the inertial navigation system has to be up and running for this to work as well, but I will show you all the in-cockpit bits when we come to it. So like I say, this is a default. You just need to ignore this top bit here, and then what you'll notice is that the longitude and latitudes are in decimal. They're not in days, minutes and seconds, degrees, minutes and seconds, sorry, which is the normal way of, if we do a Google Maps thing, the positioning coordinates will be in degrees, whether it's north, south, east, west, and then minutes and seconds, so comma and speech quotation marks, but it needs to be converted into decimal for it to work on the position and heading indicator. Now I can't do the conversions, but luckily enough I've found a website that does that for you. So as you can see here, we've got the degrees, minutes and seconds, which is what it will show when I click on the map, and then at the top it will show you what that is in decimal. And then what we'll do is copy that and paste it into the LN3 file. Now for this flight I'm going to fly from Nellis, and I'm going to fly through the Nevada Test and Training Range, the NTTR. I'm going to go up to Rachel, and then across to the Tonopah Test Range Airfield. So what we want to do, obviously you don't need to click on where you're going to be starting from unless you're coming back to that. So what I will say is position 1, if you're going to be doing a round trip, the best way to do it is have position 1 as your start point. So say if I was going to fly from Nellis back to Nellis, I would start here, just click that and get the coordinates, and use position 2 as my first waypoint when I take off, and then once I've done all of my other waypoints, just flick back to position 1, and it will dead reckon you back to Nellis. So we're going to go from Nellis along over to Creech, which is here at the base of the NTTR. So what I'll do is I'll just click in the center there, and as you can see there's your degrees, 36 degrees, 35 minutes and 8.76 seconds, but we need that as decimal, and that's what it is in decimal. As you can see, it's completely different, and I have no idea how to convert that. So what we'll do, we'll take the latitude, we'll copy it, and we'll go back into our copy of the LN3 file, which is over here, and just paste it in there like that, and then we'll delete that one there, go back in, copy that and paste it, and then we're going to we'll just rename it Creech AFB, and then obviously I'm not sure what the code is for Creech. I completely forgot, but it's not important. As long as you've got the commas as quotation marks, sorry, you're all good. And altitude I've never touched, so we'll ignore that for now as well. So what we'll do is we'll zoom out of Creech, and then what we want to do is come east up the Sally corridor, and up the edge of the range. So we'll click there, and again we're going to copy station 2, paste, copy the longitude, and paste, and then I'm going to just rename that Sally corridor, and then get rid of the ICAO code. And again, the altitude, not it doesn't really play a role in the PHI indicator anyway. So position 3, we're going to run up the eastern side of the NTTR, and we're going to come out the top here at Badger Mountain. So take the coordinates of Badger Mountain into station 3, I think I did that wrong, so copy, paste, you get the idea. Control C that, Control V, and then we can change that to Badger Mountain, and the altitude again doesn't matter. Station 4, we're going to come across and over to Rachel along the extraterrestrial highway, which is situated here, not too far off the of Badger Mountain there. So again, copy that. Station 4, 12.8. Okay, now we'll just rename that Rachel. and then we're just going to come back into the range just here and call that ECW. Need the coordinates obviously. Rename that ECW as we've come back into that part of the range, and then obviously we've got Tonopah Test Range Airport here, so we'll click in the middle of the runway there. We've got our coordinates for Tonopah, so copy that. That's going into position 6, which funnily enough is the limit of what we've got on this particular template, but like I say, I believe you can have up to 11 stations, and then we are just going to call that Tonopah Test Range Airport, TTRA. There we go. Okay, so then what you're going to do is click File, well, just click Save, and that will save as a copy of default. And then what you want to do is just rename it to whatever you want. So Nellis to Tonopah Test Range Airport. There we go. So that's your LN3 file done. The next thing is to implement that in the sim itself. But what I'll do is I'll add the link to this website in the description, so that you can just click on it and start creating your own LN3 files off the get-go. Like I say, you just go anywhere in the world, click on it, and it'll give you the decimal coordinates. So yeah, let's get into the aircraft. Okay, so now to get set up. Now I'm going to get the aircraft fired up as quickly as possible, but first we need the lady set up. So what we're going to do is go into Startup, go to PHI files, and then we're going to select our Nellis to Tonopah Test Range Airport. That's now loaded in. Obviously we're going to toggle the ground power, and I'll just quickly get this started up now. While that's going on, I can start getting the other bits and pieces set up. Now if NVIDIA is playing up again, I do apologise. I'm still trying to figure out a solution on how to make it so that when my videos are made, the cursor doesn't shift, which is really annoying. Okay, so we've got lights on, auto temp, go over to this side, switch on our radios, to transmit, receive and guard. Right, get that on, stick the anti-skid on now so I don't have to worry about it later. Okay, so we're up and running, close the canopy. Right, now as I say, you need to have the inertial navigation system up and running for this to work properly. Now, to know, other than starting it up, another way of knowing that your INS is not up and running is that the artificial horizon here above the other one will say off, and the flag will be up, and it will obviously not be calibrated. So I'm just going to start this up now. So align, wait for the green light to go out. That's out. Okay, so there you go. The all the lights are out. We have the calibrated artificial horizon there. Now we need to switch this to it says IN, inertial navigation. As you can see, it's not really showing anything at the moment. We know the file's loaded though, but we need to go down to this little, I'll flick it just in case you can't see the cursor. We need to go down to this little toggle switch here, toggle down to 1, and you'll see that we have a bearing of 305 degrees and at 36 nautical miles away. So we know that the file has loaded correctly, and just to make sure that all stations are correct and not showing a DUF heading and range, we'll just cycle through them quickly. So 2, so 33, yep, so that's all good. Yep, 3's good. 4 is good. 5, yep, 5 is good. Last one is 6, that'll be TTRA, the Tonopah Test Range Airport, 125 nautical miles away. And I'll just show you what it would look like if you hadn't correctly put the coordinates in. So go over to station 7 and you'll see that it will have 99 and then half a 9, half a 0, and then a random bearing. That shows that you're not you haven't supplied the right coordinates, and there's an issue with the flight plan. So if any of your stations that you've actually filled in look like this, then you need to go back and re-edit it. But what you need to do, when it first fires up, it will show this, so then you need to cycle down to position 1 just to get it to calibrate, and then cycle through all the stations to make sure they're correct. But yeah, they're all good, so I will taxi to the end of the runway and continue the video once I'm there. Right, okay, so we're going to taxi out to the end of the runway. We're all calibrated. Once we get up in the air, we're going to switch on the radar, so you have to make sure that your red panda is up and running. Although you don't really have to fly with the radar, but I like to do that anyway. Okay. Get the flaps in the takeoff position. Right, okay, so we're all calibrated, we're all good. We've got our barometric altimeter is set to AGL instead of mean sea level, so we shouldn't have any accidents on landing. All of our bits and pieces are good to go, so the only switch I'm going to use is once I get to once the DME gets down to 0, or a couple of nautical miles away from 0, I'll just reach down here and flick onto my next stage. That's all I'm going to do while I'm flying. So if you see my head go down, it's for this knob here. Okay, so let's take off. Interested, we're in the classical United States Air Force high-speed silver. There we go, we're up. Okay, so flaps up. Okay, so now we want to turn on to bearing 305. Come off burner. Don't want to get there too quickly. And I'm going to keep it low, although this will work at any altitude because you're using your onboard inertial navigation system. So we can keep it low. Check out Vegas, which is just over there. Looking a bit gloomy today. This is where all my DCS flying comes into play, as I have the NTTR map on that and I've flown that quite a bit using the ranges. And this is my first time actually flying it on Flight Sim, so this should be interesting. Okay, so we're coming up on Creech now, so on my nose. So there we go. Go down it, we're going to flick that up to position 2. We're going to do a turn over Creech and then head on to 055. Okay, coming up on the next waypoint, so we want station 3. Okay, so we're coming up onto the next waypoint, and I'm a bit fearful of hitting a cloud with a hard centre. Oh no, that's okay. So taking it, that's the mountain coming up now. Yeah. Right. Okay. So we'll climb a bit, and we'll go on to our next waypoint. 4. Coming up on our next waypoint, and again, let's go down to our next position, and we're at Rachel now, extraterrestrial highway below me there. Guessing that's the little alien and the white mailbox down there. So we'll enter back into the range. Okay, and on to the last position, position 6. So we're 13 nautical miles away from Tonopah. Okay, and there's Tonopah. We'll do a run and brake, come into land, and then that's the end of the tutorial. Unfortunately, you can't get any precision out of this. It's just, as I say, dead reckoning, so it takes you from one place to the other. You'd have to do some minor tweaks to get yourself in line for runways and such. Okay, not the best run and brake in the world, but there we go. Slow down and get ourselves dirty for the landing. There we go, welcome to the home of the F-117. Interesting story about an RAF crew that had to divert to Tonopah during a red flag exercise. If you can get hold of that story, it's worth a read. It's quite funny actually. And also it's in Tornado Boys. If you own that book, then you'll know the story that I'm talking about. Anyway, that's position and homing indicator tutorial from Nellis to Tonopah. I hope that's been helpful. I know it can be a little bit daunting with the extra add-ons that SSW have included, but once they are all up and running and working properly, they it really does come together as an excellent aircraft all round. I had a lot of fun flying low through the desert there. So I'll leave it at that, and take care, and as always I'll see you in the next one.